Hi Soul Fam, welcome back to the channel, The Womb Goddess. Today we have a special reading. I have been doing short readings daily to support the ascension of the divine feminine and masculines of the planet during this very intense transformation time. And today we have the solstice. So I did pull out the Isis Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild for this, which tends to hit a little bit deeper, going with messages from Goddess, Spirit, and the angelic realm to support the ascension of the dear souls who are listening today, receiving messages to support this beautiful solstice rebirth experience that we are going through today. If you have specific messages that you'd like to receive, you can pop your questions in the comments. And please know that these messages are timeless. So even if you're not receiving it on solstice, that this message will be related to you if you find it and if you feel attracted to it. We have Divine Destiny, Path of the Divine Warrior, and we do have a falcon or an eagle perhaps here in the picture, which is very relevant because we've been talking about that the last couple of days, and I've been seeing this particular animal following me around and showing off at very beautiful times. So it's part of the conversation. And I love that there's a pairing here with the goddess and the bird, because we don't always have to embody the animal in order for us to receive the messages of that animal. There's also this pairing that happens in the animal kingdom. For example, the crows have conversations with the wolves, and they take turns keeping eye out for each other and letting each other know, because one of them is on earth and one of them's in the sky. And so we do have that pairing as well in terms of this particular archetype of the warrior that's coming through for us today. The warrior archetype is specific to the peaceful warriors, the heart warriors. These are those of us who are fighting internally to create peace, right? We reject old stories about blood sacrifice, about colonialism, and these types of very challenging conversations that have historically been what a warrior was really working with, right? And so now we're working with our hearts and our internal processes, and we're using that to spread the message around us that we don't have to fight each other in order to attain peace. And in fact, when we are in that external, more violent version of warrior archetype, there is more of this power trip, right? Looking for dominance, looking to gain power or resources from another person, another people, another land. And so this process of learning about internal peace and then extending that externally as well is a really beautiful reconciliation for ourselves and for our ancestral lineages of how to deal with that energy, especially when it's happening around us. So, like I said, it gets really deep when we go into Isis, of course. So I will also remind you that because it is also a full moon today, there is definitely a lot of conversations happening about that. And Isis is a solar feminine. You see in her, above her, the solar crown that is above her head, reminding us that the ancient religions and spiritual practices all connected with the sun as their deity, as the source of life. And so when we come back to that remembering, then we are able to perceive the sun as the consciousness that is perceiving us. We are the life animated that is able to perceive and receive perception through the sun, to receive life through the sun. And so the full moon becomes understanding of the cyclical nature of reincarnation, of karmic contracts where we're repeating ourselves. This is the shadow realm. This is the underworld. This is the earth attachment that keeps us in that cycle of reincarnation and disconnected from our true soul essence as divine beings sourced from life itself, solar consciousness, Christ consciousness. And so if we go in the direction of the sun, like the ancients did, then we move beyond those earthly attachments. And again, the warrior that we're talking about, this internal peaceful warrior, is connected with life source energy. So the full moon is a really intense time where a lot of us might be purging or experiencing the shadows of ourselves rising as the parasites, the parasitic attachments become a little bit stronger during the full moon. And the full moon is taking more of the solar energy. Of course, I put taking in quotation marks because you can't really take away energy from the sun. You know, whatever types of blocks that might be put around our space or on our bodies that try to block the sun, it doesn't really work because the sun is so much more powerful than that. So the combination of those two energies is very intense. And yeah, there's no need for competition between the solar and the lunar energies either, by the way. We don't need to feel like one is better than the other or worse than the other. But what we're saying is that when you're complete with the karmic cycles of the lunar energies, then you're able to open yourself more so to the solar energies. And we're going to go into the tarot for a message here to support us through the process today. We have the Knight of Wands. Wow, I'm so grateful for this. Really seeing how the arrival of this masculine forward motion, this action, this passionate, inspired action is really giving us incentive to take what we have been feeling and desiring and dreaming about and turn that into reality. So we're no longer just in the state of fantasizing and considering possibilities, but we are actually moving forward with them now. It's a really beautiful way to take the heart longings and to transmute that into physical, practical reality. So I would love to hear from you in the comments what it is that you've been dreaming of, what has been on your heart and on your mind as your strongest passions and inspirations, because those pieces, if you allow them to move forward, if you allow yourself to be moved by them, will be the very things that are creating the change that we're looking for. So you can take those things and apply that warrior essence to that. So, for example, if you've been wanting to make changes in your life, whether that's wanting to travel, wanting to experience more love, wanting to experience more peaceful relationships, this is a message for you that those desires, those heart, soul based longings are actually your inspired divine right to express them, to create them, to experience them. And all that is required of us is to tune into them, to spend enough time in solitude and silence and stillness to be able to know what they are, what we truly desire from our heart, from our soul-based desires, and then to move them forward by taking inspired action on them. Wow, that's so exciting. I'd love to hear from you in the comments what it is that comes up for you in terms of these things. What are your intentions for this solstice season? Because your intentions at this time are going to be magnified so much by this solar energy that is coming through for us right now. And I'd love to hear it, because the more that you speak about it, the more that it becomes reality. This is part of how we transmute something from the mental realm, the emotional realm, into the physical realm, is by talking about it, by sharing about it. So pop your thoughts in the comments and we will support you in magnifying those energies and creating them into physical realities. And as always, if you want to tune in with me and have deeper support, I am a trauma-informed somatic and energy therapist as well as psychic, so I would be so happy to support you. You can send me a message through any of the links that you find around my work, and I would love, love, love to be here for you, with you, holding your hand through this wild journey that we are on together, sending you so many blessings.